What up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today. With me I have some more RPG horror stories. Speaking of horror stories, it's been a hot minute since we had Mary or Micah join for some RPG horror stories. Mostly because Micah got a new job, so he's adjusting to that. And Mary is back on puppy duty because those puppies are chaotic balls of nightmare, apparently. I mean, I think they're pretty cute, but I don't have to deal with cleaning up after them, take care of them, making sure they don't eat stuff, particularly poop. Apparently they really like poop, which is kind of disgusting, but I guess puppies are not that smart. Anyway, puppy slander aside, we're gonna go ahead and get some RPG horror stories for today. Passive-aggressive DM can decide what he wants from us and gets mad about it. For some context, this was my first game ever playing. I'd gotten bit by the D&D bug by playing through Baldur's Gate 3 and watching The Legend of Vox Machina. I decided to join the game as it was advertised to new players by a DM who was somewhat experienced. He's running a homebrewed game taking place on the Sword Coast. The premise was that we would be helping a new and struggling guild find its place in the world. They would be struggling for members, gold, and have basically no reputation whatsoever. We would be starting at level 1 and growing alongside this guild that would act as our home base. I really liked the idea, submitted my application through Discord and got accepted, and added to a separate Discord server. He then started setting the ground rules. He told us we could play or be anything: aliens, gods, mythological beings, or futuristic cyborgs. It didn't matter. We weren't given any guidelines other than that. An open book with just about any homebrew available to us. The one thing he was adamant about was that we would each have a major secret, that we couldn't tell others what class we were going before the game started. I mean, if you guys could play whatever the hell you want, you could probably play any kind of like a homebrew class out there. Just be class Mysterio. You do mysterious things. What the mechanics? Doesn't know. It's mysterious. I don't know. I feel like allowing your game to just be anything and everything, whatever, is a little bit broad. It's gonna make it really painful for you to try to bounce things out as a DM. I think if you're playing on Sword Coast, it might be just easier. Maybe I'm stupid about it, but it might be easier to just base everything on what's related to Sword Coast. Does it have humans? Does it have gnomes? Arakocra maybe? Orcs? Goliaths? You know, that kind of thing. Keep it generally grounded for the setting that it's in, because if you base it on Sword Coast, but with robots and aliens, then suddenly you have to balance things out, and any homebrew is okay. If any homebrew is okay, that's just a disaster. I don't know how the DM is doing this. They're either really good at planning this, or they have no idea what they're doing. My guess is they have no idea what they're doing. They're just going with whatever as to try to attract players. Luckily, I'd done my research on my character creation and I got no help whatsoever. I decided to stick with a fairly basic character and made a Goliath Barbarian using just the basic 2014 rules, as the amount of homebrew options it gave to us was super daunting. The others also started making their characters, and that's when the DM starts getting upset in the general chat. You see, when he says we could be anything or use any material, he didn't mean that. The other players started making some really wacky builds apparently, and he did not like that one bit. He started complaining that we needed to take the setting more seriously, needed to make sure our characters mesh well with the world, not be outliers. Hold on, DM, you literally said you can be anything you want. Aliens, gods, mythological creatures, whatever. Every homebrew is on a table, and then you go back and say, no, no, no. You have to make sure you match the Sword Coast setting. You can't just be a wacky alien, super flailing R-Man Tube Man playing the Rizzler class. I don't know, I'm coming up with some stupid stuff. You have to play something from the Sword Coast setting, if that's how you want to play it. How about you say it from the very beginning? Match the Sword Coast setting. Anything from D&D, anything from these specific selections of races, that's fine. That's Sword Coastish. Any of these classes will be fine, and the subclasses, anything from Tasha, Xanathars, whatever. You know, set some sort of generalized ground rules, because when you say you can be anything you want, and you come back and scold players for actually becoming anything they want, it's just backwards, man. It's backwards. So after a few turned down character concepts for the other players, we finally got started. Starts with us receiving letters to join the guild and each making our way inside. There was basically no description other than there are people around and that we're standing next to each other. Then he asks us, what do you do? Well, with us all being new players, we are uncertain. One player asks if he sees anything of note and the DM gets mad. Don't talk out of character. You're your character right now and act like it. We stand around awkwardly and decide to introduce ourselves to one another. It's pretty awkward at first, but the players were all pretty cool and I loved the variety of characters we had. We talked for a bit, sharing some small stuff about our characters. Once done, we asked the DM, in character by the way, is there anything noteworthy or interesting in his bar? Nothing. No word. No response for a solid minute or two. The players all go quiet, uncertain of what to do. DM finally responds, "Are you guys done yet?" And then waits another minute before sighing and says, I just wanted to make sure you were done with all that," in a very passive-aggressive tone. Apparently, despite this being advertised as a roleplay heavy game, he didn't want us to roleplay or talk amongst us, as apparently, despite telling us to only talk in character. This DM either is accidental master of gaslighting or is purposely gaslighting to annoy other players and just annoy everybody. What is the point of saying you can be anything you want and then getting mad when players want to be whatever you want when you want them to be specific things? What's the point of saying you gotta talk in character all the time and then getting mad at them, be like, "Are you guys done talking in character already? Finally. I'm still waiting for you guys to be already done already. Sheesh." What is the point of any of this? You can't just be given mixed signals like this. You have new players that just want to play and want to just get to know the game and just jump into it or whatever, and they don't want to be awkward about it. Ease them into it. Don't force them to roleplay and then get tired and annoyed at them for roleplaying. Don't tell them you can be whatever you want and then get annoyed at them for being whatever they want. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I don't know what's going on with the DM. Either they're very passive aggressive, or they're very wishy-washy, or they're just master gaslighter. I'm not sure. I don't know which one. The mood was soured at that point. I think one player made a joke to try to clear the air a bit, but the DM flatly responded, "Don't do that." Don't make jokes. How dare you make jokes at my expense? How dare you make jokes? Don't make jokes. Don't do that. And then the DM is probably gonna go and say, "Why aren't you making more jokes? You made a joke earlier. You gotta make more jokes. Make him in character. Make him in character. Are you done making jokes in character? Don't do that. Don't do your jokes in character." This DM is the worst kind of whiplash. I physically feel whiplash in my neck just from this. This is insanity. Why are you guys putting up with this? This is insane. Don't put up with this. This DM sucks. Just be like, listen, how they tell me I can't do this or I can't do this. Don't just do both. Seriously. The DM is trying to have the cake and eat it too. Can't have the cake and eat it too. Either let your players do something or tell them specifically what they have to be doing. Don't just be annoyed about them for doing things you want them to do. Roleplay. How dare you roleplay? Are you done roleplaying? You done already? I'm all sick and tired of you guys roleplaying. Are you making jokes? Don't do that. Hey, do more jokes again. So stupid. Oh, this is insane. We played it out till the end of the session with the DM basically talking to himself the whole time, unaware that the entire table had completely stopped caring and interacting. After that, the game basically imploded. The cherry on top of it all? The premise of the game, a struggling guild, could not have been farther from the truth. What we learned in that first session was that everyone in this guild was crazy strong. Like the front desk girl was capable of casting power word kill. A random guild member NPC made fun of the group stating, "You're so weak, I bet you haven't even killed a Tarrasque before." And the leader of the guild was apparently way stronger than all the others. They had money, influence, power, and everything they could ever want. There was no reason for our group to be there. We were actively picked by the guild and told we don't belong. What a stupid premise to start in. The reason you're recruiting people to be part of this adventurers guild or marauders guild or mercenary guild or whatever is because they're looking for hired help. If everybody from the reception desk to the guild leader to other members are just way stronger than everybody else, what is the point for this guild to exist? Why would they need more recruits if they're gonna just bully the recruits the whole time and just make fun of them? This DM is a worst kind of DM. This is the whiplash DM. We're creating a brand new term. This is the whiplash DM. They say one thing or they do one thing and then they say and do the other and the opposite. It's always back and forth and back and forth. It never makes sense because it's nonsensical. They think they're probably on a roll with something or they're constantly having mixed feelings about everything going on. This is the whiplash DM. It's a kind of DM that basically makes you just feel annoyed because it's one thing and then the other and then back again. It's just never enough. It's never enough just to have it be normal. I'm sorry you guys had to deal with this. You shouldn't have to deal with this. This sucks. Don't play with people like this. Don't play with a whiplash DM. Avoid whiplash DMs. Or if they're gonna be doing whiplashing, call them out on it to figure out, can they stop being such a whiplash every single goddamn time and just get on with the game already, because we just want to play a little bit, man. We just want to enjoy the game and not be just bullied and given whiplash all the time. Come on. Ooh, I swear these stories are just a mixed bag of everything. I feel like from story to story I'm just bouncing between stuff. It's just, ooh, it's just a lot, dude. We're getting some fresh new stories and fresh new takes. We even got a new archetype for a DM, a whiplash DM. Oh, still, I'm sorry you guys had to deal with this. The DM did you guys a disservice, complete disservice, and it's just not okay to just whiplash you guys like this back and forth. If the DM doesn't want to run the game, they don't have to run the game. Simple as that. We can be heroes, but the DMPC can. So I guess I should start off by saying we hired a DM. Hey, why not? $15 a week per head, 5 of us, whatever, we adults, and 15 bucks is fine considering none of us want to DM. I really don't know who's wrong here. It's my first experience with a hired DM. We played over Discord, D&D 5e. Before hiring a DM, I highly recommend just having one of y'all DM instead. Like again, not everybody wants to DM. I completely understand. Sometimes you just want to play. You don't want to be having that responsibility of a DM. But before you hire a DM, I would highly recommend just trying DMing yourself. Maybe you're gonna have more fun this way. I don't know, man. So far, a lot of the stories that we read about, I mean, obviously, of course, these are the stories, these are the outliers. So there are probably some paid games out there that are perfectly fine. But every story so far that we read regarding paid DMs, they never go well. And also, again, 15 bucks. I'm pretty sure we read about a story about, wait, did we read a story about a paid DM recently? I feel like there's always some sort of a paid DM fiasco going on where things could get really bad. At least with a free DM, somebody that just volunteers their time, they can just annoy you, but you don't lose money over it. A paid DM, they take your money, do something crappy, or, you know, problem paid DM, does something crappy, wastes your time, and then steals your money anyway, and you can never get the money back, and it sucks. It becomes a sunk cost fallacy because you're already investing money into the DM, so you keep playing with them, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. By the time you get fed up with it, you're already, down several funds just out of the way because you paid a terrible DM. It just sucks. It's just such a risk. Unless you know the guy's gonna be good for it, good for the word. Probably best to not pay any DM unless you know them. They can, you can vouch for them. I don't know. Let's continue. Session 0 went normally. For the DM's homebrew, he needed us to be in a party that already knew one another. So as the cliche goes, we say the scene opens up with us hitting in a tavern, broke and desperate looking for work. We all shut up with backstories and characters ready, a miracle from our friend group, and some of us had requests. My friend, Fighter, requests that he starts with a talking sword. Nothing crazy, enchanted, or magical other than its sword that talks. He figured it'd be a good device for DM to use to throw hooks our way. For me, I was playing a rogue and I wanted to play Arcane Trickster eventually. Asked if I could have a wild magic table for flavor's sake whenever I get spellcasting. Warlock and Cleric didn't have any requests. Just told DM that they're free to use their god or patron for plot hooks to make his life easy. He shut down all requests. A paid DM shutting down requests for that? I mean, you guys are paying him to provide your service. 15 bucks a pop per session. That's about 5 people. That's what, 15 times 5? That's what, $75? Is that? Wait. So he's being paid $75 per session, and he can't even allow you to have a simple talking sword, become an arcane trickster with a wild magic table, and using the cleric's god and warlock's patron for some sort of story plot. That's apparently too much for this guy. You're being paid $75 to provide a service for the players. The least you can do is give somebody a funny talking sword, give him a silly little voice, or give somebody a wild magic table they just recycle from, I don't know, the sorcerer. I don't know, maybe make a custom one from barbarian. $75 to get none of the things that you asked for. And this is a very simple request. Cleric's god being involved makes sense to me. Warlock's patron being involved also makes sense to me. It's part of the character. Clerics have a very strong tie to their god. That's how they channel divinity and the powers of the gods. They literally have divine intervention as a feature, where the god can possibly step in and change the course of action in some capacity, in some way, and help the fellow cleric. Huh? Fighter. He actually said it was a dumb idea that he couldn't do anything with. Warlock and Cleric. Patrons of gods wouldn't talk to you about such petty things as your current questline. Me? No, too much to keep track of for a busy DM. This jack is being paid $75 a session. He can't provide a simple wild magic table recycled from barbarian or sorcerer? Really? Insanity, dude. Can't track it because of busy DM? $75. Dude, I would do a wild magic table for Arcane Trickster for free. You don't even gotta pay me. If a player wanted to have that, I'd be like, sure, let's make one for you. We'll make it custom and everything. What the hell? This rubbed us all the wrong way because we felt a certain sense of entitlement considering we were paying him. Once again, I don't know if I'm in the wrong here or not. You're not at all here in the wrong. You're paying for a service. You guys are literally putting in money, $75 per session, 15 bucks per head to basically provide you a specific service. 75 bucks a session just to provide quirky little things like a talking sword, be able to communicate with your patron. Dude, most DMs just make it so that a cleric's god, he gets involved in the story in some capacity, in some way, or a warlock's patron is involved in the story in some way. It's actually a very baseline way to create a hook for your cleric player and your warlock player. It is the most bare essential stuff, and that's apparently too much for this busy DM, even though they paid $75 freaking for it. You guys should feel the right to feel some sense of some level of entitlement because you're physically paying for a service. And if this paid DM doesn't provide you the very bare minimum of the service, then it's a waste of your money. He's stealing your money and saying, no, you want this thing? I'm not giving to you. It would be basically the same thing as you paying him for the games, but he never runs the games. You guys just loiter around, do nothing. Actually, that could still be a possibility. We're very early in the story, so we'll see what happens. We didn't like how abrasive he was, but whatever. Give it a shot for a few sessions and we'll see. Fast forward to our first questline, session 5. Local clergy lost a holy relic in a bad part of the city. Hired us to go figure out what happened and hopefully find the relic. We decided to ask around the area where the convoy was last known to be. We asked to make checks to see if there's anyone to talk to. DM says no one wants to talk to strangers. Fair enough. Roll checks for clues around the area. No clues. Okay, there's a guy standing there with a necktie that implies he's part of a local gang. We talk to him and roll inside checks. We all fail. Out of character, I asked what the check was set. DM said he had set at 15 after the first failure. He raised it to 25, 35, and so on and so forth since all 5 of us made checks. 35? What level are you guys starting at? That is 35 DC is gonna be a thing. Ooh. Okay, assuming you guys are even level 5 and you have, let's say, the highest, wisdom and expertise and insight, even then I feel like the most you're gonna be able to get is like a 30. Maybe with some magical items you might be able to get like extra 2 points. You still need a natural 20 to be able to achieve that. You still need a natural 20 and you would still be able to get only to about 30 with that, if my math is mathing. My math could be, maybe it's not mathing, I don't know. But if my math is mathing and you feel level 5 and you have proficiency and expertise and insight, not even proficiency, and full max out of wisdom, that is still not even enough to get you to 35 even on a 20. What the hell is this DM doing? I argued that makes no sense because we were all listening to him speak and all observing at the same time. I'd said if each one of us tried to pick a lock, would it make sense of the lock to become a higher DC each time? I don't know if I'm right here or not. No, you're very much right. Things just don't arbitrarily change just because somebody made a try and just becomes immediately more difficult. That's not how things works. If you try to pick a lock and you fail, the lock's tumbles don't just magically change to a different, more complicated lock. Things stay grounded in reality. Unless it's this DM. This DM is living in fairy la la land, basically. I don't know, man. This DM is cracked. Not in a good kind of cracked, bad kind of cracked. DM proceeds to tell me that arguing with the DM, paid or not, is poor form. Roll initiative. Turns out, wait. Roll initiative at the table or what? How dare you argue with me? Roll initiative, IRL. We're fighting right now. Imagine if a DM did that. That'd be nuts. Turns out the supposed gang member got tired of us pressing him and decided to start a fight. 5v1. We won. Made sure to knock him out, not kill him. Fight finished and DM chuckles. He once again restates that this is a realistic game with realistic consequences. Local militias surround us and throws us in jail. You telling me that DM literally was like, pull up on his glasses. You guys are so stupid. I plotted for you to be captured this way. Like he is a freaking protagonist from Death Note or something. Fools! I predicted for you to get in the fight. So now you're gonna have to pay for the real consequences. The militia is coming to arrest all of you. How dare you attack this guy? This is a realistic game with realistic consequences and realistic stuff and stuff. That's why it makes sense that your inside checks and stuff just never work and become more and more difficult because clearly it's realism and stuff, right, DM? Clearly it's all about realism when it's convenient for you, huh? God, this DM sucks. You guys, he's stealing your money. So here my group is, 5 sessions in, on our first quest line, no idea where we're supposed to go, and in jail without bail. We ask out of character, hey, what are we supposed to do here? DM shrugs and says to Warlock, hey kid, it's like the real world, no one's gonna throw you a bone. We go, whatever, let's just short rest and figure out how to get out of this after we sleep. Wake up, still in jail. All sleight of hand checks fail. I didn't bother asking if he raises the DC each time. All perception checks fail. No magic because we're in an anti-magic cell and patrons want help with such trivial matters. This actually kind of makes sense. Cool. What are we supposed to do? And then the DM introduces his DMPC. A paladin that was protecting the relic. Here is in the cell next to us. We're excited finally because this is the first hook we've gotten. We tell him we are hired by the clergy to figure out what's happened. And this freaking paladin holy smites his cell door with his fists. Who is the hero breaking us out? his blonde hair, blue-eyed paladin. We all sat there dumbfounded almost 2 hours into the session and tell him that we are done. God, nothing's more satisfying than just seeing BS come up. I mean, honestly, I wish you guys would have said something earlier, but seeing this particular BS come up and just saying, we're done. Nope, you're not taking any money. You're not stealing any more of my money. This is just horse crap. I'm going to keep reading because I want to see exactly what happens and what the final outcome is. But you're probably not going to hear much of comments from me. Maybe, depends. But this is a satisfying end. I love this. He defends himself, but we already started packing our stuff. Paid him for this session and told him we were good. Just another thing. My friend and I gotta be honest, you guys probably shouldn't have paid. Just gotta be honest, it just wasn't worth it. Just another thing. My friends and I all come from the military and we're all well in our 20s pushing 30s with careers, etc. I'll tell you this to tell you that I skipped an argument we had with the DM calling us kids. We took a special offense to that statement after stonewalling us all session, all seemingly to have his DMPC come in and save the day. Sorry for the crap formatting. I'm on my phone and found the sub. Leave it off with a quote. There are 3 sides to every story, mine, yours, and the truth. I'm really sorry that you guys had this money just taken away from you like this. This is just unfair. You should have been gotten like a proper service. Dude is making 75 bucks a session, 15 bucks per head. The least you can do is give you a talking sword, patron that interacts with you, cleric god that actually interacts with you, wild magic table that just recycle from, I don't know, sorcerer or barbarian or whatever, or just some online table somebody else made out there just to make it simple. Like, it wouldn't be that much of work. DMs out there are doing this stuff for free to be able to play with their friends. They're doing it for free out there, and you guys can't even get that basic service from a paid DM. And that has audacity to make your adventuring and exploring and playing the game so miserable in every capacity, and then have the gall to get you guys rescued by the super awesome DMPC paladin that is just able to smite through anti-magic stuff and anti-magic gates with just his fist. Boom! Look at my cool DMPC. You guys literally paid somebody to just like waste your time for like 5 sessions and then to show off their super cool awesome DMPC. That sucks. I am so sorry you guys had to deal with that, but I'm so happy you decided to finally say nope and just be done with it. I wish you didn't pay the guy. He honestly does not deserve your money in the slightest whatsoever. I suggest if you guys still want to play D&D, one of y'all DM or ask for a friend of a friend. Maybe somebody knows somebody that is willing to just play for the sake of playing without making you guys waste money for this. Like, if you want to pay for a paid DM, only pay for somebody that is vetted, that is assured to be actually good, and if you think the investment is going to be worth it. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. Pay it or not, there are a lot of great DMs out there. But before you start throwing money at a DM, it might be good to maybe attempt to DM yourself, you know? Maybe rotate between your buddies and have somebody else DM. Or find a DM that is going to be taking your money and actually providing you a decent service and decent fun. I don't know, man. I feel like there's different options out there. If you have to pay somebody specifically, they better be providing you a damn good service. 75 bucks to do what this DM did to y'all? This sucks. This was a scam. He scammed you hard. I feel bad for you guys. I feel bad that you guys got scammed from this great opportunity because the DM decided to be a jackass and not provide you with a service that you guys paid for. It is insane to me. I can't believe it. And with that, that's going to be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.